Hey everyone, you're watching VGO 40 and this is VGO Girl, and today we are looking at World of Kings for the iOS, and we have a new dungeon, and I have no idea what the name is. Maybe Void Abyss. It said that in the beginning when I zoned in, but I don't have my iPhone downstairs, so I can't check and see what the actual name is. So look at the title of the video. Anyway, this was a bit tricky. We had to go through the dungeon several times, but we got it down, I think. So I'm going to go over the different bosses and how you can get past them. Okay, I skipped some of the mobs leading up to this first boss, and I have to say there's nothing really overly remarkable about the first boss. I don't really remember a whole lot. The only part is really just there's this point where he does this AoE and there's like these little thin slots, and so you have to just kind of stand in the little thin areas, and beyond that it's just a straight DPS battle. Okay, so the rest of this battle is pretty much the same thing. I'm just going to go ahead and skip the rest and move on to boss number 2. Okay, here we are at the second boss. This is really, I think, the most challenging, at least to get the concept of. For me it was hard. So we're going to do the boss. Now there's a couple things that you really have to watch out for when you're fighting this boss. Number one, obviously these circle AoEs, that's not the hard part. So the first thing off the bat is these like purple puddle, or these purple swirly things that come up. They're not the purple puddles. The purple like swirly things that come up, and it says you have to, right there, stand on the light circle and target the runes. So if you see, I'm stunned, and those two, everybody else has to go jump on those purple swirls, and I'm still stunned. And see that kind of like, there's like a mask-like thing in the middle that rotates. You have to switch your target to that mask-like thing and kill the mask in order for me to be able to attack again. Now, that can be tricky, especially if the healer is the one who is stunned and not able to do anything. So definitely watch for that message and those little swirly puddles, and switch to that mask rune thing and kill that right away. Okay, I'm updating this section actually from a later fight. So when it says go into the purple area to prepare for the boss's AoE, one person at a time, at least one person at a time, needs to be in the purple rings. Now, I've had other groups tell me that it helps to face the boss away from the DPS. So as a tank, I'm kind of getting in here, and it's really hard to see the rings. So later on, I'll have another shot of it. But the purple inside, I get hit with it, and in the center of the screen there's this buff that I get, and see here I'm moving out of the purple ring, and there's still one guy that went inside of it, so you can see he's in there, and then the purple rings disappear. So for this, one person at a time must be in the purple. Okay, so the next message to watch out for, besides all these little interrupts that happen, is the scatter around the boss. So everybody has to go away from each other around the boss, and the boss will freeze one person. And it's kind of like the Icewind last boss dragon, where they kind of go into ice and then you have to break the ice, and you can see it there. If people are clustered around each other, they will all get hit by the ice. So I've had this run where I've had 3 people get hit by the ice because they were all too close together, and then it takes forever to break them all out. So just make sure to kind of spread out for that one so you don't all get hit by the ice, and then go and DPS and break the ice. Okay, again, I'm going to update the audio on this section just to get the everything right. So here we have the all scatter around the boss, and then we have the purple message. Here, this is a really great shot, so I'm keeping it. I moved in. There's actually 2 guys behind me that got the purple buff. You can see kind of the corner of the screen where they were in it. So then I'm getting the purple buff, and then I need to move out of the purple. So it's kind of like some of the other bosses where you kind of take turns. You can see the edge of the purple line there. So one person, at least one person, needs to go into the purple, and then once you get the purple buff, you have to get out until the counter is gone, which won't be until after this little section's done. So for each one of those, you have to have one person in the purple. Now, the last time we lost the person tanking because he had already gotten the buff and the rest of us had moved out, so we didn't all die because he was still in. But he did die because he already had the buff on him and it came again. So that's the end of this boss. I'm going to skip the rest and move on to the third boss. Okay, so Moss is one of my guild members who helps out a lot, and he's always being silly and putting in hi mom for everything whenever I try to do recordings, and usually I miss it. So I had to leave this part in here where he says hi mom and everything. So you can read the chat. It'll just be there for a second, but anyway, I thought it was cute, so I had to leave it in for him. Okay, so the third boss. There's a few things to kind of keep in mind when you do the third boss. Okay, so the first thing to watch out for is if you get this black text box above your head with red text, you can kind of see it in the background a little bit. You want to move all the way back to a wall because there will be purple puddles that appear below you when it stops, and you don't want the purple puddles in the middle of the field. Okay, now the point where you guys are all probably here while you're watching this video. You've done this boss and you're like, I can't figure it out. The message says, work together to fill the vortex. Green ones will deal damage. So, the way this works are there's 4 pillars around the room, and 2 people, not just one, 2 people have to go to a pillar. The purple ones, like the one I'm in now, have a little area around the pillar to so you don't get hit by damage. The other 2 are green, and the green ones you have to have 2 people run in and then run back out because it will hit you with damage. So 2 people have to be at each pillar, and the purple ones stay inside until the AoE is done, and the green ones go out. Now you can see there's 2 more messages going to the back right now. Sorry, you can rewind it for just a second if you want to see it closer, but they moved all the way back for the purple puddle. Besides that, the boss isn't too challenging. So one more time for the pillars. Here we get the message. Now I'm going to run over to a purple one, and here comes somebody else. See, nothing's happening, but as soon as the second person walks in, we get cleared. He went too far and he got killed, so you have to watch out for that. I'm going to go over to the green one. He's going to come with me. As soon as we're both there, move away from that so that you're in a safe area. Now the boss, you can see here, is taking 1 damage when you hit her. Until you clear all 4 of those pillars, it's not going to allow you to damage the boss. They'll have a shield on it. So here we're clearing the 4th pillar, and now the boss will run over and you'll be able to continue to do your DPS. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this boss. I mean, there's some crazy AoE circles and lines and stuff that come up that you just move over and avoid. But the tricky part is just knowing that 2 people have to go to each pillar to remove the shield from the boss. And once you do that, this is actually a pretty easy boss. The other thing is that there is some pushback. So there's a point where she kind of like throws everybody back, and for the most part for a couple of runs I didn't get thrown because I was in the tank, but at the end here I just wanted to show you why we move the purple puddles, because she just threw me all the way back into the purple puddle. Anyway, you're watching VGO 40, and this is VGO Girl, and we hope that you found this helpful. Again, if I find anything else that's beyond this video that I didn't include, please check the comments. And if you found this helpful, please take a moment to like and subscribe, and we will see you next time in World of Kings.